Hi, this is Craig. This is the third video on mindfulness that I'm doing. Um, so this video is about the three elements of mindfulness. So I'm going to talk a bit about those. But I like to start with a meditation. So we'll do that to begin. So if you're watching this, just get comfortable, just sit in your chair, close your eyes, I'll guide you through. There's no right or wrong way of meditating. It's just trying to focus on our breathing, noticing if our mind wanders away. So let's have a go. I have my trusty bell here, so I'm going to hit that to begin. So let's have a go. So just start by noticing your breath. Noticing your in-breath and your out-breath. And feel the air as you breathe in. Feel the air as you breathe out. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're breathing out. And if your mind wanders away from your breathing into thinking, just accept that it does this and gently bring your focus back to your breath. Breathing in calmly, breathing out easily. Take a moment just as well to notice your body. Just notice the connection between the chair and your body. Perhaps you'll notice the ground under your feet. Just tune in to how your body is feeling. Breathe with whatever's there. Breathing in awareness of your body. Breathing out calmness to your body. And as you breathe in, just smile, just knowing that every time you do this, you reach the present moment, and that you're giving yourself kindness, space just to be, releasing any tension on your out breath. Breathing in, smiling. Breathing out, releasing tension. And just expand your awareness out into the room. Just notice any sounds or just noticing the quiet. Just sitting. So just take another few conscious breaths. And just when you're ready, just gently open your eyes, come back to your space. Okay, so thank you. That was about 8 minutes meditation. So it gives you a flavor of mindfulness, being in the moment with your awareness, trying not to judge anything. And those are the 3 elements of mindfulness. And today in this video, I'm going to talk about each one. So we're going to start with the present moment. So the present moment is all around us. Our body is always present. Our mind is the thing that might not be with our body. It could be in the future or in the past. If you're thinking about the future a lot, you have a tendency to worry or become anxious over the future. And if we're in the past a lot, when we get other emotions such as annoyance or frustration or anger or sadness, grief, guilt, these kind of emotions. So being present, being mindful of the moment is a wonderful practice that allows you to let go of your thoughts and be where you are. And obviously we have to accept where we are, because if we don't accept, then we're back in our heads again and we're thinking. And you could say, if you're thinking about what's just happened to you, you're no longer present. You've left the present and you've gone into the past. So being, just being, is in the present. So if you're just sitting, as we did in the meditation, or you're just listening to the quietness, that's one way of reaching the present moment. Just being is a lovely practice. Sometimes your head might tell you that just being is not doing anything. It's like, well, I can't just sit here. I have to do something. But actually, just sitting and being can give you some space. It can give you some chance for your mind to settle. It can stop you from worrying about things or getting bothered by things. So it actually, by being and sitting, you're not actually doing nothing. Just being is giving you your energy back. You're replenishing your energy. You're not thinking too much. You're settling your mind. You're calming your body. You're aware of your body, so you might be aware of emotions and feelings and these kind of things. And you're with everything, with acceptance. So you could say this takes away the drama of life. It removes drama. And you start to observe yourself. You start to notice how you feel right now in this moment. And that's really quite powerful, because if you're noticing that you're uncomfortable, or you're feeling something like irritation perhaps, then you notice that you're irritated, and then you can choose to deal with it. If there's something you can do in that moment that can help, then by all means you do it, and then your irritation goes away. But sometimes we can't fix these emotions. They come up. They may be something that's happened in our past, or as we say, we could be worrying about the future. So if you take away the thoughts and come back to the feeling in the moment, then you're with the feeling. You're not adding to it with any thoughts, so it doesn't get any bigger. It's just a feeling at this moment. So when you have a feeling in this moment, you can breathe with that feeling. You can welcome in the feeling. We try and welcome in everything with mindfulness. So accept that I'm irritated, or accept that I'm sad, or whatever the feeling is, and breathe. This will give your mind a chance to settle, to not add to the problem. Problem is a judgment, incidentally. It's just a thing that's happening now. So it gives your mind and body space, being in the present. You're also cultivating patience, which is a lovely practice, because that is the opposite of anger. So the more patient you become, the less angry you are. And you're noticing these irritations, these annoyances, these huffy puffiness, as I call it. And being present is a way of just resting, just true rest. Sleep even is not as resting as just being in the moment. Because even when we're sleeping, we could be dreaming, we could be restless, we could be in our head thinking about stuff. This is not thinking, this is just being, this is letting everything just come up, and we see it and we accept it and we let it go. That way nothing becomes a threat to us. We're sitting in this present moment and we're totally fine. So there's many ways of getting to the present moment, and you have to be aware, which is the second element of mindfulness. But certainly listening to the sounds, like the quietness or any sound, will get you to the moment. Sitting and being and not doing stuff. So just sitting, just breathing, or just letting the world go by, or watching clouds, looking at the sky, drinking tea, just being with your tea, with mindfulness, not thinking about anything else, catching if your mind does go off, bringing it back to what you're doing, which is drinking tea or sitting, then you are being. And I kind of call that, I've invented a word called be do, which is doing with being. So you can actually do tasks and also be with them. So that's be do. So you could be do things like you're washing up, or you're walking, or your project. You're focused. You're paying attention to just that thing. and you're noticing everything that's going on, how you're feeling about it, you know, concentration. You're not thinking about the next thing on your to-do list. That's future thinking. The more future thinking we do, the more we create impatience, and we have more tendency to get annoyed or frustrated, and there's an urgency to things, and that makes us start to rush about. And then if we're doing that a lot, then we get drained of energy quite quickly, physically and mentally. So sit, pause, just be. Going out in nature is a wonderful practice as well. Just sitting somewhere in nature, it's always changing in front of you, whether you're looking at birds or listening to the wind in a tree. You know, it's a wonderful practice. Nature's the best. Plus, you're getting lots of fresh air. So meditation, as we did at the start, is a way of entering the present moment. It primarily is focusing on your breath, which is always with you. So when I say this every time, whenever you're feeling huffy puffy, you're uncomfortable, you're upset with something, focus on your breath straight away. It could help ease that tension in that moment, just because you're using your awareness. And so that brings me on to awareness, which is the second element of mindfulness. So I'm going to talk about awareness now. So awareness is this amazing sense that we all have. We have our senses: sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, but we've got awareness, and that's bigger than those senses. We have more than the five senses. We can detect temperature, for example. That's a different kind of sense. We can kind of notice when there's danger. We get instincts and intuition about things. This is all awareness. Awareness is bringing you back to the moment. It's bringing you back to your body and how your body is feeling and how you are feeling. You can also be aware of your thinking, which is lovely, because thinking is not you. We are not our thoughts. Often when we're not mindful, we're in our thoughts automatically, and we're acting out what those thoughts are trying to say to us. And sometimes these thoughts aren't that positive. They're, they can condemn you and beat you up and call you names, or they can tell you off for not doing something correctly, or if only I'd done it this way, or I wish that had changed, or, and we're up here and we're living in our thoughts. But awareness is greater than our thinking. It can look at thoughts. So it's like you can have a choice then when you're looking at your thoughts with awareness. You can sort of go, well, I don't know if I need that thought. That one that's just called me stupid. No, I don't think I need that. That can go away. So I won't attach to that thought. Just off you go. Where am I? What am I actually be doing here? So awareness, yeah, you can look at your thoughts. You can obviously use some of the thoughts. I'm not saying thoughts are evil or anything like that. Thoughts are good. And we need them because they help us fix things and solve problems, etc. But notice what it is that you think, because what it is that you think will manifest your future. So if you're in your head thinking lots of negative stuff, you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I've got a horrible day ahead of me and I'm not looking forward to it. And it's going to be so busy and I'm stressed before I even get out of bed, then your future will be a stressful day. So if you can catch those thinkings with your awareness, and I like that I've made up a word, thinkings, thoughts. If you can practice your thoughts, noticing them, you might change that negative chat into positive chat. You might think, well, you know what, this is a new day. I don't know what's going to happen today. I know I have a few things to do, so I'll do those mindfully. I'll do them mindfully, and let's see how the day goes. That's much more positive. Your day will be more positive than if you were in your head judging it before you start. So noticing your thoughts, awareness, very powerful. So also you start to notice your bodily responses, as I was saying. So rather than running from a emotion or distracting yourself from it, often, when we're doing some things, we're distracted by something else. So you could imagine, as an example, you're having a conversation with someone and then they reach out for their mobile phone and they're just, scrolling through Facebook or something. They're not giving you their full presence, their full attention. They're not giving you their full awareness. So they may miss things, and they're distracting themselves from the moment. So a good practice is to do one thing at a time and to really focus on it. So if you're driving, for example, and you're driving from A to B, know where you are on the road. Notice when your mind wanders off, which is a distraction from your awareness. You find sometimes you drive from A to B and you can't remember how you actually got there because you were in your head. The same goes for walking. Mindful walking, you can be with every step. I'm on this surface, I'm breathing in, I see trees, I see the sunshine, I feel the sunshine, I'm walking, I notice the ground under my feet, I notice the sound of my footsteps. All of these things will keep you in the present. That's awareness of the present, where you are, what you're doing. And if you're distracted from that and you've gone into the future or the past with your mind, then you're no longer mindful, you're distracted. And that often leads to things like forgetfulness or worry or tension because you're not in the moment. The moment is the only place where you can be truly calm, and this is where your happiness comes from. So practice listening. That's one really good way of getting into the moment. Be there for people. Be present for them. Don't have your mobile phone. Listen. And also when you're out, listen. There's amazing amounts of sounds outdoors. It will bring you back to the moment. Slowing down is a lovely practice, and we find this hard because our mind is always thinking about the future, things to do. So trying to slow down in what you are doing now is a lovely practice because it again increases concentration and it calms you and it gives you more patience and it eases anger. So the slower you become, it's good for all sorts of things: anxiety, anger, frustration. You start to soften these things a bit. So try and slow. I would encourage every hour, if you can. It's hard when you're working, I know, but to sit for a few minutes every hour and just be. Don't think about the future or the past, just try and be in that moment, either with sounds or with your breathing or by looking at an object or just trying not to think at all. Or if you notice your thoughts, that's fine as well, but just let them go on their merry way. And you'll find if you're doing that a couple of minutes every hour, then you're building up mindfulness, you're meditating for a couple of minutes, you're giving yourself space. You'll find the more you do that there will be a real expansiveness happening in your day. It starts giving you a bit more rational thinking. You start to notice the irrational thinking, the fears that bubble up. And obviously I've talked about fear in my second video and my first video. So actually, the more awareness that you cultivate as well, you're not up here so much and you're not thinking about yourself so much because you're aware of other things. You're looking at other things. Even a moment of looking at a spectacular sunrise, for example, you're not thinking about yourself. So you become more selfless. You're enjoying the sunrise. You get happiness, awe, wonder, reverence, these kind of words. And whatever happens in our awareness, even if it's painful or uncomfortable, there's a learning behind it. We can always look for the gifts. It opens your mind to be curious, to think more about why is this happening, rather than just beating ourselves up for it to happen or blaming something else for it to happen. If things have happened, we have to accept that they've happened but we can learn from the past. And our awareness is good for that because we can notice if we're anxious at something or we're frustrated at something. It's good to get curious about it. It's like, oh, supermarket queue is still making me frustrated. It's still making me annoyed. How interesting. Still not clearly zen yet. I've got some more work to do. Let me breathe. Let me see if I can let go of that frustration. What's actually happening with my awareness is that I'm standing in a queue, so I feel the ground under me, and I've been here for 10 minutes perhaps, and yeah, that's it. I'm just stood in a queue. There's nothing else to it. That's what actually is going on, but we judge it, so we add layers of judgment to it. This is wrong, this is horrible, I can't believe I picked this cue, if only this would change. So much more thinking, so much more tension. You could just be stood there, breathing, being mindful. So noticing the world, not yourself. Practicing kindness to yourself as well, which is, when you get these feelings, it's good to breathe with them. That's giving yourself kindness. You can try being kind to others, but start with yourself. That's a good place to start. Um, Awareness. It's a lovely thing, and we've all got it. Every creature has got it. Even a small, fly or a ladybird or something. You put a finger towards it, it'll fly away or whatever. It knows you're there. Awareness is this knowing. A wonderful, wonderful skill or attribute that we have. And the more you practice being in your awareness, it grows. It's like a muscle, you can train it. So it becomes stronger, and so you're more likely to see your thoughts, and then you can choose what thoughts are good for you or not good for you. You start becoming happier because actually you're seeing the world, you're in the full experience of life. You're not in your head in imagination or illusion or judgment kind of life. I'm not saying that we can't have fantasies or imagination, but we notice when we've left the moment, when we've got an emotional response. So that's awareness. And finally, the third element of mindfulness is acceptance, or you could call this non-judgment. Acceptance. So this means really not judging, not taking offense at anything, and trying to have kindness and love and compassion and curiosity for everything else. If you can do those things, you're accepting. And the more you accept, the happier you get, the less judgmental you are, the less you're up here in your ego analyzing and worrying and judging, etc. So your feelings are calmer. You become peaceful. You become more calm, and you start to actually see other people's points of view as well. So you become more empathic. You start to listen to other people. So you accept what they're saying. You don't have to agree. This is a good point. Acceptance isn't agreement. Acceptance is accepting that this happened. So if someone shouted at you, we have to accept that yes, they shouted at me. No, I can't believe you're shouting at me. You're horrible. I hate you. That's non-acceptance of someone shouting at you. If someone shouts at you, you have to, right, okay, they're shouting at me. There's a reason for it. I don't agree with it. I'd rather they didn't shout at me, but they have. So okay, what do I learn from this? What is this teaching me? Is it something that I've done? Is it something that they're maybe they've got a wrong perception, or maybe there's a reason for it. Often the reason actually is not about you. We often think it's us that's at fault, but sometimes things are triggered in life with other people. People get angry because they're used to getting angry, for example, and the smallest thing can make them flare up. And sometimes you may have triggered their anger, but it's not really about you. There's something deeper. So this is helpful when we're trying not to take things personally. Whatever happens, happens for a reason. So it's good to be curious and it's good to be kind. So we're trying with acceptance to kind of send kindness to everything, to send love to everything. Can we, for example, give ourselves kindness and love? Can we look in the mirror at ourselves and accept how we are, how we look, how we think, our personality? Can we accept that? Uh, for some people, this is hard. In fact, for a lot of people, this is hard because we look in the mirror and we think, oh, I wish I had more hair, or I wish I was stronger, or I wish I was like such and such down the high street who's so beautiful, whatever. And that's non-acceptance of ourselves. And if we can't accept ourselves, we're going to have a really tough time accepting anything else out in the world. So this becomes a practice for us to try and accept ourselves. And so by standing in front of the mirror and going, you know what, I like me, I'm okay with me as I am, with everything that's going on for me, I'm okay. I can practice my present moment awareness. I can practice mindfulness from this day on. You can avow to yourself that I'm going to try and be in the moment, and I'm going to try and concentrate, and I'm going to try and do my best. And that's all that you can do, is you're doing your best. And every time something falls or it doesn't go right, or you get upset, or someone else gets upset with you, or whatever, be kind to yourself. Just go, okay, interesting, this is happening. It's all a big experiment. It's good to sort of treat life like that, not personally, because personally judging it and blaming it and criticizing it is your ego, which isn't really you. It's just your old you from the past, and it's full of conditioned responses and habits and things like that that we've just picked up. And sometimes it's from other people. So it's not even our own stuff. So try and take ego away. So it's letting go of thoughts, letting go of the resistance to what is going on. Accept everything. Whatever's happening, try and be empathic to other people, because other people will not be mindful at times either. So they're going to be in their head judging this and blaming that and criticizing this. So in those situations, if you're in a conversation with someone who's moaning and groaning about something, be present. Don't get annoyed at them, or don't judge them for it. Don't offer them a solution either. They're venting, so you want to be there and you want to just hold the space for them. So that can practice your mindful listening, your awareness. You can reflect back what they're saying in your own words. I'll come to this more in another video on mindful communication, but in essence, it's being present. You can breathe while you're listening to someone. You can breathe and notice if what they're saying is driving you nuts. And then you can breathe with that too. But try not to blame or judge or criticize anybody. That's an act of kindness and is an act of courage and a real strength. And the world needs people like that. So be empathic with other people. Be open-minded and curious about what happens. And of course, whenever something comes up and it is painful, or it is sad, or it is difficult, it's good to know that all these things can change in the moment. The more we practice meditation, the more we sit there, we notice so many changes. We might notice anxiety, and then we notice we're thinking, and then we notice the sun streaming through, and then we're anxious again, and then our anxiety is changing and mutating in our body. It doesn't stay in the same place. So all is change, and that's really quite positive news. You're not going to have anxiety forever. It's just going to be for a moment, or a few moments, or a few minutes, or sometimes it's longer, but it passes, it changes. So having an acceptance will help with things changing. The more you hang on to something with your thinking, it doesn't change as quickly. So if you're thinking about the thing that causes the anxiety, maybe it's a meeting next week that you don't want to go to, so you're nervous about it. If you're still thinking about that and still thinking about that, you're holding on to the thought, your anxiety will get bigger. But if you're sitting with your anxiety with acceptance, and it means accepting your emotions as well, I accept at this moment I'm anxious. Welcome in, my old friend. Breathing in, breathing out. I'll try and calm you. That's acceptance. But going, oh, I wish I wasn't anxious, or why can't this go away, or what's wrong with me, or that's non-acceptance. And all of that is thinking. It doesn't actually mean there is anything wrong with you. There isn't. In fact, emotions are good for you. They're powerful for you because they're giving you signals all the time to say that you're not zen, that you're out of balance, and that you need to come back to the moment. If you can get back to the moment with acceptance, then everything becomes easier for you. So that's this video, and I've talked through the 3 elements of mindfulness for you. So I hope it's been useful. There's quite a lot in there. There is a sheet which has bits of this, what I've discussed, so you can feel free to download that off my website. And yeah, there'll be another video next week. So I hope you're enjoying these. And I will see you again soon. So just keep the practice going. Just try these little things in your day. Mindfully drinking your tea, mindfully walking, mindfully being, just sitting. Have those little gaps every hour just to stop for a moment. Try and slow. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. You'll be doing okay. So see you next time. Bye for now.